You're simply the best. Better than all.
In this world of unprecedented and rapid corporate change, there are values emerging which we've never experienced in the past. Some companies are actually involving employees at all levels in planning a future for the company. And when people are involved in planning a company's future, they are more likely to enjoy what they do because of the significant effect they have in contributing to the goals and ultimately the long-term success of the organization. It sounds simple, but in fact, few organizations have realized the powerful effect it can have. Richmond Savings is a company which has embraced this philosophy and is living it today. All staff are involved in the planning process. The company listens to and values the contributions of every single staff member. This is about how we got here and what it means to you. Since 1990, we've been working towards a shared vision of where we want to be in the year 2001. That means sharing that vision with everyone at Richmond Savings. In the fall of 1994, we took the next step. All Richmond Savings staff participated in a 6-day strategic planning meeting. The meeting was designed to create a solid action plan for the following 3 to 5 years, a plan that would ensure we achieve our Vision 2001 goals. Here's what those goals are. To be the first choice for personal financial services in the Lower Mainland, with 70% of our customers using us as their primary financial institution. To have $2.8 billion in assets. To operate with expenses of 1.2% as a percentage of assets. To have 100,000 customers. And to have a 20% recognition of the Richmond Savings name in the Lower Mainland. We called it the Next Generation event, and we defined its purpose with this statement: to ensure the continuing success of Richmond Savings by capturing and focusing our energy toward shared direction, actions, and results, where each individual and group understands, passionately commits, and contributes to that collective success. To plan together, we needed to be working with the same basic information. So the first thing we did was go on an information gathering expedition. We heard about each other's reality. We told each other what we needed from each other. And we learned to appreciate each other's differences using the Myers-Briggs Temperament Indicator.
And our strengths, NF strengths, intuitive feeling types, we're catalysts. We make things happen. We have a strong commitment to the people that we lead.
Part of our strengths become part of our weaknesses. Our deep caring and genuine empathy for people brings us very much concerned with their personal well-being.
Looking at us as NFs and why any organization needs us is very simple. We are the ones who make absolutely certain that the heart is in the organization and that it stays there, and that aspect of it is always considered in everything we do.
We listen to the people we serve.
And the personal relationship, what we're looking for is the friendliness, helpfulness, accessibilities, and the report, and whether we get the feeling whether you really want my business.
Every single person I talked to, interestingly, mentioned service. They did not say that they worked with you or were members because of your products. They liked your personal touch so much better than most banks.
And we heard from the people who serve us, 2 of our key suppliers.
Hopefully the advertising isn't too brash and aggressive. It's trying to be provocative. What it's trying to be is just not like a bank, not stuffy. So I think that the branch staff shouldn't be stuffy and shouldn't be bureaucratic and shouldn't be, totally by the book and give that kind of impression. But we don't want you to turn into used car salesmen. And the advertising, I don't think, has that kind of tonality either.
You have to have creative employees who can come up with the ideas and have a desire to win in the marketplace. You have to be receptive to the opportunities that are out there. You have to figure out how to deliver those benefits to your customers. And then challenge Prologic to bring you the technology to make that happen.
We looked outside ourselves and saw how our competitors view us, with some of our staff actually role-playing as our competitors.
And in my community, you are a competitor. But strictly from a deposit rate point of view, as your rates are always brought up. I'm not really clear what your focus is, but seems to be of traditional transactional banking.
Actually, I'd never heard about you guys before. And in doing some research to come and talk to you, I had to ask some of my coworkers if they'd heard about you either. Well, I can honestly say people really didn't know who you were.
And we heard about trends in our industry.
In the future, your job is going to be to try to maximize as much as you can of the household's balance sheet.
We asked questions of understanding.
Will our goals be re-looked at various stages to make sure they are attainable, and can we change them from our point of view?
We'd like to know how long it'll be before our older branches are formatted according to the standards established for Surrey, so that we can better service our members.
And you want us to be proactive, and you want us to call. So I just wanted to clarify what type of information and what type of service that we can provide you that you consider proactive.
We're wondering how management in general can be more involved with and more visible.
And we grappled with the issues.
Everybody wants to get training. You have to be more ambitious company to get everybody trained. And you can't stop people from leaving.
Well, you definitely
but on
would
the same
never stop
token,
people.
Provides complete documentation on all sent up, and we'll follow up on things that are missing.
We also heard the leadership team's view of our future, and in particular, our president's personal dreams for Richmond Savings.
Back in 1990, we set some extremely aggressive targets for ourselves, and every year since then, we've exceeded them. So we do have a track record, and that's where the confidence to survive and prosper in the future is going to come from. We can do it because we have done it.
After hearing the leadership team's view and reviewing a draft of their strategic plan for the next 3 to 5 years, all of us gave feedback on the major goals and objectives in that plan. Everything from editing a few words to adding brand new objectives. Our leadership team listened to the feedback and then spent the day Saturday rewriting the strategy based on what they'd heard. First thing Sunday morning, they reported back to all of us about what they had changed or left the same and why. A copy of the revised final strategy was available for everyone to read. So, how did they do? Did they listen? Did they process the feedback? And did they incorporate the wisdom of all the staff into the new document? Well, let's hear from the participants.
Did we get it?
Together, with one brain and one heart, we wrote a strategy that each of us owns, a strategy that each of us had a say in, a strategy that will guide our actions for years to come, a strategy that's a living document, something we will continue to shape well into the future. With our ultimate mission in mind, we are now all working towards 4 common goals. Our mission is to achieve excellence in providing quality financial and related services in anticipation of or in response to the changing needs of our member owners in a manner that is beneficial to the membership as a whole. Our goals are to build a superior sales and service culture, to provide exceptional service support, to earn a reputation for outstanding advice and education, to manage growth, productivity, and profitability. With this new strategy in hand, the next step was to brainstorm ideas for short-term actions on each goal and objective, an exercise that created a sea of yellow Post-it notes. Those ideas were then boiled down into a few key actions under each goal and objective and posted on the walls. Everyone voted on the actions they thought would work best. The actions that received the most votes were reported out to the group. These actions formed the basis for priorities that came from the input of every single staff member. And with those priorities and all of the other information gathered over the week, employees got together in their back-home work groups to plan actions for the group and for each individual, actions that would support the strategy for the next 6 months. These back-home commitments were reported out to everyone at the event and also distributed on paper and by computer network a few weeks later. Regular report cards on how we're doing have already started circulating. The Next Generation event was a success with the help of some very dedicated people. Our consultants, Kathy Dannemiller and Stoj Kazmierski from Dannemiller Tyson & Associates. Their event design provided a blueprint for this event, along with the design team, a group of employees from all areas of the company. Their role was to design an agenda that was specific to Richmond Savings. And the logistics team made sure we had the right tools at the right time, making the process invisible so that we could focus on content. The Next Generation was the perfect name for this event because it was the beginning of the next stage in the journey towards our goals. Now, we're not only a group of people who know where we're going, but we've taken the first steps in the ongoing process of getting there. And get there we will, because we all agree on our destination, because we created our flight plan together, and because we are willing to adjust our course when we need to. We're individuals with a common goal. Our personal dreams and aspirations will be realized at Richmond Savings because we share the dream. We are going where no financial institution has gone before, and we're going together.